you knew that there was a practical way to transcend suffering and fly yourself into the sky of hope and contentment, would you be interested? Well, that is exactly what Heartfulness Meditation is all about. And I was very lucky and honoured and so grateful to catch up with Joshua Pollock, who's written the book, The Heartfulness Way with Daji Kamlesh Patel. We spoke all things heartfulness meditation and why now is the time to really carve out some moments to practice meditation that's going to take you away from the chaos of every single day. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Okay, so here we meditate. And we're going to meditate on the presence of light in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And not just light, but we can give it a very special quality.
Mm-hmm.
We can say that it is light from the source
Mm-hmm.
within. Or you could even invert the whole idea and say, I'm meditating on the source of light within my heart.
Wow.
Both are
Okay.
present. Okay. What does it mean to meditate on something? It means that your mind is settled on this idea, or on this experience, or on this feeling, or on this thought, or emotion. When your mind is settled on one thing, it's called meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And so what this means when we say we're going to meditate on the presence of light in the heart, it's not something where you're going to use a visualization technique and imagine light.
Mm-hmm.
Or anything else like that. That would be very artificial. Instead, we have to understand that such light can only be experienced through feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's why we use the heart as well,
Mm-hmm.
because that's where we feel things. When you
Mm-hmm.
feel in love, you put your hand here,
Mm-hmm.
feel something there at an emotional level,
Yeah.
rather than in any other organ or part of the body.
Mm-hmm.
So, similarly, on the level of something that usually we only believe in, like divinity, this is something where we're not talking about belief, but we're talking about experience. And
Mm-hmm.
experience occurs through feeling. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, we're using the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So during meditation, coming back to the practical thing, you close your eyes and you center your attention there in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And with the idea, you can just suggest to yourself in the beginning that there is light from the source in your heart. And then after that, you simply, with your attention centered in your heart, witness to see whatever kind of feeling or experience naturally emerges over the course of your meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And especially by the end. So this is all, we're talking about feeling here. That's what we're doing in this meditation. We're not fighting with our thoughts. So let me lead you into this. I'm going to first just walk you through relaxation. It'll be easier to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll say, relax this part of the body, relax that part of the body. And finally, we'll arrive at the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll ask you to start meditation. We'll do it for maybe 10 minutes meditation. We'll sit quietly, silently, and still. And then I'll tell you when it's over as well. Okay? So now we start with the eyes gently closed. And bring your attention to your toes. You can wiggle your toes. And relax them. Suppose that there is a healing current of energy from Mother Earth, which is entering through the soles of your feet, the bottom of your feet. And this energy has the effect of relaxing all the muscles in your feet. And very gently and gradually, it moves upward to relax your ankles, and your lower legs. Relax your knees. Energy from Mother Earth continues to rise. Relaxes your upper legs. Your hips and waist. Let your entire abdominal area relax. And all the muscles in your chest. Relax your whole back, top till bottom. Let your shoulders relax deeply, then feel as if they're melting. Your upper arms, triceps and biceps. Relax your elbows and all the muscles in your forearms. Relax your wrists and hands and fingers. And feel energy flowing out from your fingertips. Let your neck relax, your throat, and your jaws. Let your lower jaw drop slightly. Let it rest. And relax your mouth. Your nose, all the muscles of your face. Your eyes and eyeballs, and let there be a lot of softness around your eyes. Your ears and earlobes, and relax your whole head all the way up to the crown. Becoming aware of your entire body now. If there's any place that's calling out, it requires further relaxation, feels imbalanced in any way, let that energy flowing through your body saturate that place and heal it. Now come to your heart. where light from the source within is present already. And you can remind yourself that your attention is already settled there in the heart, and that light is already present in the heart. And now, as we meditate, your attention can just move towards the core of your heart, the center. Let's meditate. That's all. So it could go on, but I'm just trying to be conscious of your time.
Wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
What a luxury for me to be able to do this at this time of day.
I think any time of day. It's an oasis in a desert.
It really is. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Thank you. And there is a big difference between the thoughts, shifting and changing the thoughts, and experiencing the feelings.
That's true.
And because a lot of my work is around the narrative and what we're telling ourselves, etc., and how that then has an impact on our feelings and in our body. When you take out the body element and the thought element and focus on the feeling, that also creates quite a shift in itself without necessarily having to sift through a lot of things internally. And how does that happen?
Well, I'll just also comment that that's also one of the reasons that people are afraid of something like this, because a lot of the time when you have your emotional residue and emotional burdens from the past, right, and those take up a lot of energy, right? So you close your eyes and you want to feel something, but if those burdens are also there and you feel only those painful things that are lingering around or that you're harboring inside, right, then of course it's a different story. So the key thing here with the system of heartfulness is something we call cleaning. And what are we cleaning? This cleaning happens throughout the different elements of the practice, right? But what is actually being cleaned is, or this purity that's developing is the removal of emotional residue and of emotional memory, we can say, that has been formed throughout our whole lives on a day-to-day basis in so many ways. And it's basically formed whenever anything promotes a reaction within us. If something promotes a reaction in a very simple way, that's like or dislike. And that like or dislike can have many forms, right? That like can have so many forms. It can morph itself into a wish. Yeah, there's one thing just to simply appreciate something's beauty, but then if it develops into a wish to possess that in some way, that's another phase. And there's so many different phases, right? From subtle emotion to intense emotion, and also on the other side, from mere dislike to hatred, bone-chilling hatred, right? So this spectrum of emotion is always associated with thought, because the thought always tends to be positive or negative. To some extent. Yeah. So this is the emotional reactions that go on being formed moment to moment to moment. And the result of that reaction is twofold. Number one is you're developing those emotions get stored in the subconscious, and you may not feel them. The moment may pass, but the emotion remains. You may not experience it, but afterwards, if you do cleaning and remove this load, you'll feel the lightness. And having felt that lightness, you can then understand that there was some heaviness. So I'll just say that, number one. Number two is those things, the old emotions tend to be triggered by new experiences too.
Mm,
I think
mm, mm,
everyone's familiar with this concept where you can have a bad
mm,
experience with
mm,
somebody, let's say, who looks like me. He's got a beard, right?
mm,
And then all of a sudden you meet me and you think automatically you don't like me. Something about me, you've never met me, right? But
mm,
something about my face or something
mm,
about me has triggered this memory, emotional memory about somebody else that was formed from an interaction with somebody else.
mm,
And therefore, now your reaction to me will be one which is formed from bias.
mm,
And you won't be able to see me for what I am, right?
mm, mm, mm,
So these emotional reactions, when they go into the subconscious, they create prejudice, they create
mm.
bias, which means that our whole reality is conditioned on our past experiences, and we're
Yes,
unable to live in the present or see things as they are.
yes.
And so that's how the other thing, which is it forms a template for our
Mm,
perception.
yes. And do you feel that if you practice the clearing and the cleaning meditation,
Mhm.
that actually you become solely independent in healing yourself, as opposed to then having a two-way dialogue with someone that may have inflicted some hurt on you?
Yeah, I think the two-way dialogue will be valuable to the extent that I can forgive the other person through
Mm,
understanding. Is if I'm unable to forgive that person or come to an understanding of that person's intentions, right? Then I'll need to have some sort of dialogue with them, some sort of interaction with that person.
mm,
If I'm able to do it on my own, then that dialogue isn't necessary. But if I'm
yes.
unable to do that on my own, then with a very positive attitude, and I go into
Mm,
that dialogue with the intention not of making things worse, but of
mm,
finding the positive underpinnings of this
mm,
relationship,
mm. How would you do that?
then
What advice would you give to
you
anyone in a
have to understand.
situation?
So cleaning, this takes care of many things. That's
Mm,
sort of like that's like carpet cleaning,
yes,
everything goes. Or that's like
yes.
taking a shower, everything
Yeah, yeah,
goes.
yeah.
But so that's just a general thing where
Mm,
all
mm,
these things from your whole life
mm,
kind of come out and you don't even realize that they're gone, but you're just
yes.
simply not holding them onto them anymore.
Mm,
A very specific thing, like you've had an argument with somebody, right?
mm,
You can even deal with that just by doing cleaning for a moment. You
yeah.
can close your eyes right then and there, do a couple
Mm,
minutes of cleaning, which is one of the
mm,
practices of heartfulness. Like it's not
yes,
the whole thing,
yes.
but you can do that for a minute or two, and
Mm,
that'll go away.
lifts.
That
Yes,
reaction will come down.
yes.
But if you still want to go on,
Mm,
and in fact, you should do that before you have your meeting with that person and try to
yes,
sort things out, because
yes,
otherwise you're still going to be in that state of reactivity, and
yes,
things are only
exactly.
going to get worse.
Yes. And the thing is, Joshua, like a lot of people are also now are on this
Mm,
journey of awareness and owning the fact that there is previous trauma that's causing something to be a trigger, but not
mhm,
everybody is on that journey. So if you were to meet somebody, and often people I interact with,
mm,
or sometimes come across, and a lot of my clients do, um, you come from a place of compassion, you come from a place of love, you come from a place of knowing that we're all connected. However, if
mm,
somebody that doesn't meet you um, where you are, um, and comes from a place of victim mentality, or feeling like they're being feeling heightened in this conflict, what advice would you
mm.
give? And is there a practice within heartfulness meditation that could help an individual deal with that? Because sometimes you can't reach a resolution, sometimes you try and have a two-way conversation, but it ends up being worse than it was before you began. So,
Sure.
but a lot of people need that closure. They feel as though they need that closure. So, what would you suggest?
Well, I can't give you a magic pill,
Mm,
because and the reason there isn't any, and the reason there isn't any is because we have this free will,
mm,
right? And people often extend this line of thinking not just to how do we, better our relationships with
mm,
people and help people we care about,
mm.
but why is it necessary to put so much work into spirituality, right?
Yes.
if the whole why isn't it such that, you know, the source can just draw everybody up into itself? Why do
mm,
we need to do anything about it
mm,
consciously? Why do
mm,
we need to
mm,
undertake an act of meditation? Why do we need to become prayerful? Why do we need to work at ourselves?
mm, mm, mm,
Free will.
mm,
We have it's meaningless if
mm,
there's no free will attached to it.
mm,
Consciousness is meaningless without
mm,
free will,
mm,
right? And if a person has decided that the world is against them,
mm,
to change their mind, the only
mm.
thing you can do is just give them love.
Yes, yes.
You know, you just have to
Yes,
give them love.
yes,
You also can use prayer. You
yes,
can do so many tricks and things like that, but the essence of it is that you have to give them love.
yes,
And you can't expect them to come out of it just like that. You can't say just because I tried
yes,
means that they'll come out of it, and I get offended because you didn't come out of it
yes,
because I tried. You know,
yes,
sometimes I think people get trapped in that too.
yes,
One
absolutely.
person, let's say, has a victim mentality. The
Mm,
person who wants to help them feels that they're owed something for
mm,
even trying. And then
yes,
this whole thing gets
yes,
complicated. So
yeah,
we just have to be really unconditional, I
yes.
think.
It has to
And of
be,
course,
yes.
from a spiritual perspective, we can
Mm,
also help by making positive suggestions,
mm,
not to that person's face,
yes,
but in our own hearts.
yes,
We can we can say, may this person, you know, like such and such, you
yes,
know. You know,
yes.
we can formulate these positive thoughts, not reflect their own bad thoughts upon them.
Mm,
You
mm,
know, that's from the
mm,
spiritual perspective. So from the human perspective, we have a duty to these people, right?
mm,
From a spiritual perspective, we also do, but the means are slightly different. One is an
yes.
inner thing, other is outer. From an outer point of view,
Mm,
I'll just say one thing:
mm,
making suggestions rarely works.
mm,
See, I can make a thought suggestion, and that'll have an effect.
mm,
But if I tell you to your face, why
mm,
don't you try this? Why
yes,
don't you do this? I'll give you some advice. That
yes,
advice is rarely taken. And more
yes.
often, it's not appreciated too.
Mm, mm,
And even if it is taken and it
mm,
works, it'll
mm,
still not be appreciated because they'll realize that you gave it to them. They'll
yes,
feel upset that it didn't come from within themselves.
yes. So the thought suggestion is more around having creating the suggestion internally and
Yes.
maybe meditating on that. And I guess that
Yes.
relates to the power of intention and actually
Yes.
not declaring it, but stating it in your mind and then watching the world change around you.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That's what they call sankalpa,
Mm,
right?
Sankalpa.
This
Yeah.
that's just that pure intention. But
Mm,
then also the pure intention has to underpin the action, whatever
yes.
action you have to take.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yes. So can you give me an example?
Well, I mean, okay, so I mean, if you are, um, that's an example. I mean, anything that you do
Something that's worked in
that
your life.
involves. So I'm saying that anything you do
Yes.
that when you're involved with another person in any
Mm,
way,
mm,
your intention behind it is very important,
mm,
right? So am I am I entering into this with
mm.
a feeling of trying to profit off of somebody
Yes.
or manipulate them,
Yes.
or am I actually beyond that, you know?
Yes. Yes.
And that manipulative nature will definitely be there
Mm,
within me if,
mm, mm,
to the extent that I have desires,
mm,
to the
mm,
extent that my nature is lacks contentment,
mm,
I'll have desires.
mm,
And to the extent that I have desires, when I see somebody, I won't see that person, but I'll see the possibility of getting something from them.
mm. Yes. And it will be felt as well. It will be
And it
felt
will
on the
be
other
felt.
side. Yeah. That agenda
Absolutely.
will always be felt, just as it will be felt if the vibration is positive. And I think if there is a conflict or if there is some bad feelings, I think you're absolutely right in that doing the cleaning and doing your work, getting yourself into a really strong place of love and compassion also has an impact on that dynamic. It's very powerful. So
Yes,
thank you so much. It's been really insightful, and
I'm glad.
I've really enjoyed hearing this, and it's great to get a different perspective on how to do the inner work yourself without having to create a vision or, you know, manipulate a situation in your mind for it to make you feel better. So Joshua, I saw that you did something with Jay Shetty. What did you do with Jay Shetty? What have we got to look forward to?
That was these, some of these videos that have come out. He has, he has this production company, Icon Media. So
yeah,
with his team, we did some videos, and he put them on his site.
So where can we see them? On his site?
You can see them. Yeah, I mean, they're on his Facebook page. They're on Heartfulness.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they're on the Heartfulness Facebook page. They're on the Heartfulness YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did that
There's
all
more
come
too.
about?
There's many of them with Daji as well.
Oh wow! Okay.
My own guide and the co-author of the book.
Yes.
There's many videos that we collaborated.
Yeah, and we'll definitely check them out. You've got great videos on your Instagram as well, really short and sweet and to the point.
I'm just doing the best I can with the phone during the lockdown.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. I think we all are.
I don't even have a tripod.
Don't worry,
you
don't need one. It's all good. You just need your wisdom to be shared with the world. And I think that's enough.
And we have to wait for that to descend too.
No, it's there, and it's already more than enough. So thank you. Thank you so much for your time, Joshua. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, me too.